In the United States, it looks like we're winning the narrative battle between consuming meat or living a plant-based future. But in the larger global market, big business is not so quietly working with activist groups to plan for a plant-based future. We've got news that major fast food chains, grocery store delis, and major processed food manufacturers have been committing themselves to a plant-based future, and that they have taken the first steps to phasing out dairy and animal products more broadly from their product lines. This sounds like a dystopian nightmare come to life, but these companies are all committed to plant-based food goals set by major international organizations. If there's ever been a better time to adopt a whole foods animal-based diet of some kind, I couldn't tell you when that is, because now is the time. You may find yourself facing down the barrel of eating a plant-based diet even if you don't intend to otherwise. Our news comes from vegan propaganda outlet that's likely funded by the food industry itself, Veg News. Again, I suspect is strongly and directly funded by processed food industry, given the way they celebrate companies like Kraft Heinz, cereal manufacturers, and the fake meat industry, which a lot of vegans wouldn't actually celebrate them. So the story gives us some idea of what we're talking about here. The wave of food companies quiet quitting meat and dairy has begun. From supermarket chains Lidl and Tiv Tam to international companies such as Kraft Heinz, a growing number of food industry players are shifting away from meat and dairy. Now, this is the follow-up to a story I brought to you a couple of weeks ago where the big food companies launched things like Kraft non-dairy singles and other foods that are 100% plant-based. You may have seen a new entry into this market in the past few days. Hershey's has announced their dairy-free offerings of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups and the classic Hershey bar. They're not marketing them as dairy-free, though. They're marketing them as plant-based. Now, that's an ideological statement that they are making. If they were marketing these things as dairy-free, hardly anyone would notice, and no one but their potential dairy-sensitive customers would actually care. But instead, they chose a provocative political way of marketing their new product, and the reaction has been what you might expect that it would be. Big Food is going all in on the plant-based, highly processed food future. From the article, quote, "It is no secret that a shift towards plant-based foods is a smart way for global companies to slash their carbon footprints, and some have already begun to quietly quit meat and dairy to catalyze the shift. During Berlin's Green Week in January, Germany's budget supermarket chain Lidl, which operates 12,000 stores in 31 countries, announced it is deprioritizing animal products to fight the thermometer problem. In 2021, Lidl launched Verondo, its own line of meat and dairy alternatives, which has now grown to 50 items such as plant-based grounds, dairy-free yogurts, frozen pizza, and more. With its announcement, it aims to drastically replace the animal products on its shelves with plant-based alternatives by 2025. Over in Israel, the shift has also begun at major grocery chain Tiv Tam, which also manufactures deli meats. The company recently entered a partnership with a vegan company, Vegarden, to co-manufacture its kosher pea protein-based deli products such as pepperoni, ham, chicken, turkey, and other cold cuts. We traditionally have catered to the local high-end culinary market with premium cold cuts, dairy, and seafood, Agai Shalom, owner and CEO of Tiv Tam, said in a statement. In the fast food realm, Burger King has been not so quietly quitting animal products in recent years, with global launches of everything from plant-based Whoppers to meatless chicken nuggets. In the United Kingdom, where it just added vegan cheeseburgers to its menu, the fast food chain aims for 50% of its menu to be plant-based by 2030. End quote. Kraft Heinz and Nestle are also all going in. The report reveals that Nestle has invented a plant-based whey protein, which is an oxymoron, since there's no such thing as plant-based whey, and they're featuring it in a long list of products set to hit the shelves soon. French company Bell Group is entering the plant-based food space with their new plant-based Baby Bell cheese rounds. And Kraft Heinz has, as I reported last week, now introduced plant-based mayonnaise and not cheese plant-based slices. That's the future that big food wants for us, and the only way to fight back is to either completely disinvest your consumer dollars from their products — I mean, after all, there's better cheese out there than Kraft cheese — or you only buy their real food products. Given that we're talking about processed foods, the audience for videos like this probably aren't spending much money with these companies anyway. But now if you buy cheese, you might want to read the label to make sure they contain real dairy and not some plant-based pseudo-whey protein. I've been saying this a lot lately. Buy your beef and dairy products locally if you can. Some states permit you to buy raw dairy for human consumption from the dairyman directly, but not at the store. If you consume dairy, this might be the best way for you to ensure that you get the animal products that you want. Some states are weird, like mine, where you can't buy raw milk at the grocery store, but you can buy raw milk products like cheese. Now, every product I've talked about here is going to come to America and Western Europe sooner than you might think. If Kroger, Safeway, Walmart, Aldi, or their counterparts think there's real money in selling those products, they'll make the space for them by getting rid of animal-based products, and it could simply be a better profit margin. That will force many consumers into adopting more plant-based life without their real consent in the matter. Most people, I strongly suspect, won't take a stand against unnatural diets being forced upon them, though. I've been told by some people already who aren't awake to these issues that the Impossible Burger tasted like the real thing to them. Now, that's an alarming statement to make, to be honest, and it tells me that many more people will go along with this nonsense than we'd like to think. Now, are you surprised that these companies are going all in on plant-based? Are you surprised that Burger King wants to reduce the amount of actual burgers? I mean, it's in their freaking name, after all. They want to reduce the actual burgers they sell by 50% by the end of the decade in the United Kingdom. Are you surprised it's happening in the UK? Let me know in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Sharing this on social media helps a lot, too. I'm the Practical Carnivore, Anthony Stine. Thanks for tuning in.